When I received the notification from the IRS saying I was being investigated for evading $500,000, my world collapsed. I was 36 years old, had an honest business, all my taxes up to date. It made no sense. Until I discovered who had reported me, my own mother. She forged documents, invented fake bank transactions, and created an entire narrative to destroy me. I spent 2 years living a nightmare, waking up at 3 in the morning with my heart racing, spent $65,000 on accountants and lawyers, and almost lost my engagement, all because I committed an unforgivable crime in her eyes. I refused to lend money to finance her third wedding. What she didn't expect was that I would save every email, every message, every piece of evidence of her revenge. And when I finally confronted my mother, what I discovered was even worse. My relationship with my mother was always complicated. Marcia was always that mother who needed to be the center of attention, who turned any family gathering into a drama about herself. But I learned to deal with it, kept a healthy distance, visited on important dates, called every Sunday. It worked. Everything changed in March 2021. She called me euphoric, announcing she had met the love of her life, Paulo, a man 15 years younger she met on a cruise. 3 months later, she was planning the wedding. Her third wedding, I should mention. The previous 2 ended in messy divorces where she always claimed to be the victim. Helena, I need a loan. It's only $80, $1. I want an unforgettable wedding. You know how important this is to me, she said during lunch, with that tone of someone who already expected an automatic yes. Mom, that's a lot of money, and honestly, you barely know this man. Her expression changed completely. The gray eyes turned cold, her mouth twisted. So that's it? My own daughter denying me happiness? You who earn so well with your little business. It's not about denying happiness, it's about being realistic. You have your retirement, your savings. My savings I already spent on the dress and the catering. I thought I could count on you. But I see I was wrong. She got up from the table and left without saying goodbye. In the following weeks, she stopped answering my calls. Posted on social media about ungrateful children and success that goes to their head. My brother Rodrigo called me saying she was talking badly about me to the whole family. I tried to talk, but she blocked me everywhere. I thought it was just a tantrum, that she would get over it. I was tragically mistaken. 6 months later, in September 2021, an ordinary Monday, I was reviewing campaigns for clients when I received an email from the IRS. Subject, Notice of Tax Procedure. My stomach turned. I opened it trembling. The words danced on the screen. Preliminary investigation. Indications of tax evasion. Undeclared movement of $2. $3 million. Supposedly falsified documentation. My office started spinning. I called my accountant immediately. Helena, this is serious. Very serious, said Ricardo, my accountant for 8 years. Someone filed a formal complaint with documents. Bank statements showing transfers you supposedly received and didn't declare. But that's impossible. I declare everything. You do my tax return yourself. I know, but we need to find out where this complaint came from. The IRS doesn't open an investigation without apparent evidence. In the following weeks, I became a hostage to a bureaucratic nightmare. I had to hire an accountant specialized in tax law, Dr. Patricia Almeida. The initial consultation cost $500. She asked for every bank statement, every invoice, every receipt from the last 5 years. Who has access to your financial information? She asked in our second meeting. Only my fiancé, my accountant, and my mother used to have it years ago when she helped me with some administrative issues. Patricia raised her eyebrows. When was that? About 3 years ago, but she still has some old passwords, copies of documents. Helena, we need to investigate this. In 90% of false IRS complaint cases, the accuser is someone close with access to personal information. My heart sank. It couldn't be. My own mother wouldn't be capable. Or would she? Patricia managed, through legal channels, to discover the origin of the complaint. It was filed anonymously, but the attached documents had watermarks and metadata. One of the fake statements was created on a computer registered in the name of Marcia Santos Silva, my mother. I sat on the floor of Patricia's office and cried for 20 minutes straight. Bruno had to pick me up because I couldn't drive. That night I didn't sleep. I lay staring at the ceiling, trying to understand how a mother could do this to her daughter. Destroy my reputation, my business, my peace because of $80,000 I refused to lend. I need to confront her, I told Bruno the next morning. Honey, wait. Let's do this the right way. She committed a crime. falsification of documents, false accusation. I know, but I need to look in her eyes and ask why. I scheduled a meeting at her house, said we needed to talk about important matters. She agreed, probably thinking I was going to apologize or finally offer the money. I arrived with a folder full of documents. She opened the door with a forced smile, offered coffee. We sat in the living room, that same living room where I played as a child, where we celebrated birthdays, where she helped me with math homework. Mom, did you report me to the IRS? The smile disappeared. For a second, I saw guilt in her eyes, but it quickly transformed into defensive indignation. What are you talking about? Don't lie. I have proof. The fake documents were created on your computer. You forged bank statements saying I moved millions that weren't declared. She turned pale, then red. You deserved it. After everything I did for you, raising you alone, working so hard to give you a good life, and you deny me a single favor. A favor? You asked for 80 zeros and criminally reporting me is your answer? I thought you'd get scared and help me. I didn't imagine it would go so far. My voice came out trembling with contained anger. I took it far? You reported me for evading $500,000. I spent 6 months waking up in the middle of the night with panic attacks. I spent $45. 0 so far on accountants trying to prove my innocence. My fiancé almost broke up with me because he couldn't stand seeing me that way. My business almost went under because clients were afraid to associate with someone being investigated. You're exaggerating. You were always dramatic. Dramatic? I opened the folder violently. Here's the psychological report diagnosing severe anxiety and panic syndrome. Here are the cardiologist bills because I started having tachycardia. Here are the accountant's invoices, $65,000 in total. And you know what else? You committed 3 federal crimes: document falsification, false accusation, and slander, each one with a sentence of 2 to 8 years in prison. She turned completely pale. You won't report me. I'm your mother. And I'm your daughter. Did that stop you? The silence weighed heavy. She started crying, that manipulative crying that always worked. Helena, I was desperate. Paolo left me when he found out I didn't have money for the wedding. I was alone, humiliated, everyone laughing at me. So you decided to destroy me because your strategy of hunting for a rich husband failed? Don't talk like that. I love you. You're my daughter. Mothers who love, don't do this. I got up, grabbed my folder. I'm going to give you 2 options. First, you go to the IRS with me, confess everything, sign a document retracting the complaint, and pay for the damages you caused me. The $65, 0 in accounting and legal fees. Second, I sue you criminally, report you for all the crimes, and you answer in court. I don't have $65. Then sell this apartment. You have enough assets. This apartment is all I have. And my mental sanity was all I had. You choose, resolve this as family or in front of a judge. Marcia chose the first option. 3 days later, accompanied by me and Dr. Patricia, she signed a complete confession at the IRS, explained how she created the fake documents, admitted the motivation, formally retracted the complaint. The case against me was immediately dismissed, but the final twist came when Patricia finished analyzing all the documents. Helena, your mother didn't just report you. She also tried to impersonate you and opened 3 credit cards in your name. The total debt is $47,000. I felt the ground disappear again. My mother had gone even further than I imagined. The fraud wasn't just the tax complaint. She had stolen my identity to get the money I refused to give. This time I had no choice. I filed criminal charges. Marcia was sentenced to 2 years in prison in semi-open regime, converted to community service due to her age and being a first-time offender. She had to sell the apartment to fully reimburse me. $112,000 adding up fees, medical treatments, and the fraudulent debts. The last time I saw her was at the final hearing. She was crying, saying I was a cruel daughter, that I was abandoning my own mother. I looked into her eyes and felt nothing. Not anger, not pity, just an emptiness where filial love used to exist. You made your choice, Mom. Now live with the consequences. Today, 2 years later, I've rebuilt my life. I married Bruno. My business is thriving. I sleep peacefully again. I completely cut off contact with Marcia. My brother calls me sometimes saying she asks about me that she regrets it. I don't respond, because some betrayals don't deserve forgiveness, and some bridges, when burned, need to stay that way.